Hi, welcome to Adventures in Glass with Doug. That's me. Before we get started on construction of anything today, let me show you a few things I picked up today. It was not senior day, so I didn't get my 25% off, but there were some interesting pieces, and I was looking specifically for a plate to use as the base of an upcoming project, so I think I found that. But real quick, let me show you a few of the things that I gleaned today. Not that I need any glassware. I thought this was a pretty cool martini glass. Actually, there were two of them. I should have just bought them to use at home, but I've got plenty of other glasses. Some bottle stoppers that were glass that I think will do pretty good for the top of one of my constructions. That's always a hard thing to do, is to find a topper. There were a number of these votives. I don't know how well those are going to hold up, but I thought I would try. There were several colors. I thought there was a green one. Oh, yes. So we've got an assortment of colors. Again, they may work out to be a topper on something. I thought this candle holder votive was cool. Don't know whether that's truly that aqua green or not, but hopefully that'll hold up. A couple of other votives. Interesting, they were marked $1. The original price tag on these, I guess with the candle, was $4, so that was at least a bargain. This piece, I think, much like several other mosaic glass pieces, I think will turn out to be really cool. I have to get some more purple or lavender pieces to go with that. You don't usually find too much yellow, so I thought this might be worth a try. I have a couple of other pieces that are that shape, but this is going to require finding the other pieces to make it happen. And some plates, everywhere from real small plates, saucers. This one I think will work well, because I find it hard sometimes to get small enough plates. This, oddly enough, looks exactly like one I had on one of my flower pieces, and I think these look clever. Actually, if I needed glass plates at home, they would work out. This is the one I'm going to use on an upcoming project that I think will really help, and then another kind of standard plate. So anyway, that's what we've got so far to work with. Who knows when they're going to show up in a project, but I thought you ought to know. I also have a number of salvaged pieces from this glass disaster that I posted about earlier, the one where I had a big pine tree come down and crash through all of my glass. I have a short bit of video that will show you how I was breaking off the broken pieces to save a few extra pieces. I think I'll insert that now, and then we'll come back with a construction of a really nice totem. This one I think I'm going to add battery operated lights to, so I think you'll want to see this, and maybe we'll have another salvage piece that we can rebuild, but let's see where it goes. Today's going to be an interesting story for you, and what I will show you right now is what I should say is welcome to my glass hospital here. The patients are all spread out on the table. Okay, so I'm trying to rescue some of this glass to reuse. So if my camera cooperates, let me show you how I can salvage some of this glass for reuse later. Unfortunately, it was a lot of damage, mostly to hanging pieces. All right, so we'll find that we've got a little piece like this that I can use the votive below that, but everything above it has been broken and smashed. So one caution is, before you attempt this, make sure you have a pair of gloves that are pretty sturdy. Put some goggles on. You never know where these shards are going to go. And then we'll just see what we can do. Now, I know I've told you that I use silicone as my glue. And one of the reasons I do is because of this, that I can pull these pieces apart. It usually involves tapping out. Let me make some room here a second. Which is not easy to do. Let me take this big piece, put it down. I'll take this piece. That may be my next one to work on. Put it down. Okay. Obviously, you've got to have some place to put this. Now, I've chosen to use a box for this because I really don't want to end up putting glass pieces just in the trash. That's something. Okay, so I've knocked away the broken stuff. I'm going to have to take a razor blade and clean off the old silicone, but that piece can be reused. Another one. It's been broken on the bottom. It was part of lost the top. It was part of a standing one. This one's on pretty secure, so you tap. Hopefully, you're tapping broken and you have the good glass. Anyone who wanted to smash glass would be happy with this. Okay, salvage another piece. I promised you that I was going to do a piece today that involved lighting. Again, you might ask, why is he doing so many things with lighting? But I have some of these battery operated lights that I've got a pretty good collection of them. I'm not entirely sure what else to do with them, and they do have an interesting effect. So I had this piece. I'm going to use it this way in a sculpture, but it really looks kind of neat when you put some lights inside it. So I thought, okay, let's do that. Now, I think you've seen me do this before. When you put lights inside a vessel, you need to be sure, at least I want to be sure, that they make it all the way through vertically. And if you just stick them in, generally even if you stretch out the wires, they're going to all plop down at the bottom. So I like to put some silicone as an anchor. I've got a little stick I use so that when you have those lights inside, you've got a glob of, you've got some silicone that's holding a bit of the light in there. And if you try this and you don't have a whole lot of luck with it staying put, like that just did, put a little, what I usually do is put a little loop on the end of it and try and get my wire straight enough that it'll stay put for a while. You can fiddle with your wire after that once it's dry. I may have to put another glob in there and then let it dry, and it'll be anchored in pretty good. All right, well, we'll let that dry and we'll come back. While we're waiting for our lighting element to dry, and I should have mentioned putting some tape on the edge to hold your lighting while everything dries is also a good idea. I've got 3 other pieces that we're going to assemble that'll be part of this, so we can go ahead and do that. I have a votive that I thought was really kind of cool. I've got a couple of them that I bought. That'll work with a red saucer plate that we have. And clearly this is not your average wine glass. I think it's meant to be a candle holder. I'm going to put that on top of that. But I might wait for this to dry first before I add this one. Now I could have just left it without, but it looked a little blah to me. So since I had this piece and it had gold and red in it, I thought that would work well with this piece. So probably leave that large wine glass off for now. I'm also going to do another one of my alcohol inks on a marble, because I think we're going to use this on the very top. So you've seen me do this before. Let me kind of go through this real quick. Taking some isopropyl alcohol, a little bit of it, so I can coat the glass marble. And once that's nicely coated, I can then take whatever I'm going to use for colors. Now I think I'm going to try and use yellow, and I have some gold, and I might even throw in a little bit of red. So let's see what happens with yellow. And of course it pretty much runs right away if you've got the coverage on with the alcohol, which is kind of the point of it. But as the alcohol dries, well, let's see if we can move this project along a little further. We've got the lights that have I've got them pegged inside there, so we're going to turn this over, arrange the lights, and put it on this base. That may be as far as I can go with this piece today, because I want it to really dry on the base, and I'm afraid if I try to do too much more, it's going to move around and we'll have trouble. Okay, let's see. I'm going to tape that there to stay put, so I've got plenty of cord for outside with the plate. Whoops, with the plate going there, so that I can see that I have a good solid connection. We're good. We'll let that dry. I think I can do one of my other pieces while we're letting this dry. Okay, I think we can work on this piece. We've attached these two pieces together, and now we want to put this on top, which shouldn't be a problem, except that I don't want to have a whole lot of silicone smear in there that's going to be visible. So we're going to have to be careful with this one. We don't want to put too much on that rim. So we want that to dry. Let's see where we are. I was going to top it with marble. Let's go ahead and put the marble that I created. It was with yellow and gold. Now this isn't exactly flat, so I may have to get some tape to hold it in the center. No, what? I think I'm going to be able to fasten the, I don't know if you can see it. We're going to let the base dry. I might be able to fasten the battery pack under this one. We'll have to see when it's dry. You know that I'm trying to repurpose and reuse some of the pieces that got broken in the bit of a disaster I had. So here are 3 pieces that I'm going to try to reconfigure. This was a topper on one of my pieces that came apart, and it's kind of oxidized a bit. It needs a little help, so I'm going to use alcohol inks to spiff that up a little bit. And I'm going to use this vase as the hanging portion of a hanging glass element. It's been cleaned up. So what I'm going to do now real quick is get the silicone, put it on the top rim, attach it to this plate, slide that to the side, and work on the alcohol inks on that globe, that sphere. I should point out, I think what I'm going to do on this gold is use some orange and yellow to pull out some of the orange and yellow that appear to be in this piece. So I think that'll work. Okay, I think you know how this goes. We use isopropyl alcohol. Usually like to have it's sort of your thinner, but I like to try and coat things first. I don't usually do large pieces like this. Got a couple of projects in the works here, so let me just kind of review what we have. Earlier we glued this marble on the top of this piece, and while it's not 100% dry, it's firm enough that it's not going to move. And then this whole assembly that we have now is going to go on top of the piece here that we're going to invert. What I want to check is to see if I can glue this down, this battery pack underneath it when it won't interfere with that. Otherwise we'll have it on the outside. Then over here is the ball that I use my alcohol inks on to get some color for this piece. This one is still drying, but when that's dry, we're going to put the globe underneath that. So we're going to leave that one off to the side. We're going to move. This is still drying because I put the clear spray on that. Let's see what happens with this piece. It's not 100% dry, but it's firm enough that we can deal with it. All right, so the big question is, can I put that underneath. Let's move this out to be sure. All right. Darn. Now it's a little wobbly, so it looks like it's going to interfere. So we won't be able to mount that under. Yes. So we want to put a rim of silicone there so we can put this piece on top. Well, I think we're looking pretty good. Let me give you a this is really an unusual piece in that this is a long stem up here to our gold marble on the top. Long stem comes down to this, looks like a wine goblet, but I think it was meant to be a candle holder. We have a red plate to kind of pick up some of the darker orange here, and then I have it sealed off at the bottom with another plate, and I've got this tape just kind of holding the wire up, whoops, while it dries. Let's have a look. I've got a couple of batteries here. Let's have a look at what that is. I still want to show you what it looks like in a setting at night, but what the heck, let's take a look. I put a warm white in here, so oh, I think that's cool because we have different patches of color on this. Oh, I think that's neat. That really looks good. So there you have, finishing up this piece. What we want to do is take the globe we have, as you can see, we got the finished piece. I put the battery pack behind so it's not that visible. I think we've got a nice piece. Let's turn the lights on.